What's up guys, in this video we are going to break down the map of Blackwater Canal and Frontier Defense. I am going to go over the best positions to hold, enemy spawns and their lanes, where to set up your defenses, and what titans are the most effective within this map. These are mostly going to be from my experiences and what I've seen, but if you have something that works for you and might help others, be sure to mention it in the comment section down below. Without further ado, let's get right into it. For the first wave, you will have grunts spawning on the right and left lane along with mortar specters. My advice, carry some satchels with you as you will be able to take them out quickly, granted that you place the satchel in the direction that they are heading. The EVA shotgun takes them out quickly as well, but just try not to get too close to them or they will give you the boot to the face. After all grunts and specters are dealt with, you will have a North Star spawn on the bottom middle of the map. Of course, just like I mentioned in my last video, if you can go for its battery, do it. You are doing yourself a favor and building your Titan's core meter by 10%. In the higher difficulties, the more you get used to pulling the batteries out of the first Titan or Titans, the better you will be prepared for the oncoming waves and making sure you have enough firepower to stay alive and continue fighting. Prepare for the second wave. I like to buy 2 arc traps and set them up on the right side of the map, as a lot of traffic will be coming from that direction. For this wave, you will be encountering Titans, Ticks, and Reapers. Some people tend to ignore the Ticks detonating close to them, but in higher difficulties, the more unnecessary damage you take, the more likely you are to lose your Titan early and place your team in a bottleneck situation. So keep your distance away from them. Even try to lure them to the arc traps so the arc traps can get rid of them. Personally, I like to position myself either on the elevated road looking down at the right side of the canal, as I can also assist with shooting any AI from the left side of the canal or behind the massive rock that splits the right lane, as I am able to cover most of my Titan and reduce incoming damage. Now for the third wave, if you took too much damage, buy yourself a battery, as a lot of Titans and Stalkers will be appearing, making things get a little too hot too quick. If you have any leftover funds or there are any in the reserve, if possible, buy a turret and find a place to place it on, overlooking the back lane behind the harvester, as a couple of legions will be coming down that direction. If it goes offline, at least you will know about it if you forget to glance at your minimap and make your way over there or call it out to your team. As for the rest of the wave, most of the AI will be coming through the underpassage of the bridge. You can either wait for them to come close to you and unleash all you have from the bottom of the bridge or the top of the bridge, as you will have plenty of cover to hide behind. You will have one mortar Titan setting up on the left lane by the canal and a Ronin rushing through the right side of the road with a couple of Reapers, so be sure to take those out as soon as they drop. You will have a couple of Scorches and Tones trying to push through the top side of the bridge going to the right side of the harvester, so be on the lookout for those while engaging the rest of the enemies pushing underneath the bridge. Moving on to the fourth wave, you have pretty much set up enough defenses to hold you for the remainder of the game. I would personally place an arc trap on the lane behind the harvester to ensure that enemy Titans coming down that lane slow down a bit so you can pick them off without too much worry. Another trap underneath the bridge would also come in handy, as most of the AI will be coming down that lane. You will have 4 mortar Titans setting up on this wave, 2 on the far right side, 2 on the far back lane behind the harvester. If you are communicating with your team, I would call out for 1 to engage the mortar Titans on the far back lane and 1 to engage the other 2 on the far right lane, and leave 2 in the middle. For the remainder of the wave, a lot of Titans will be coming from the top road on the right lane towards the right side of the harvester, while the remaining Titans will be coming from the underpassage and the back lane. If you are not communicating with your teams, I would stick to holding the top of the bridge, as you can pretty much shoot at anything coming from both sides of the canal and the top right road. Finally, for the final wave, you will be having Titans coming from all lanes. I suggest having at least 1 Titan overlooking each lane. The best setup would be 1 Titan on top of the bridge, 1 on the back lane, 1 on the left side of the canal, and 1 on the right side of the canal. Make sure your Titan has plenty of health and spend any of your leftover credits on either a couple of more traps if on an easy or regular difficulty, and a harvester shield if on the harder and master difficulty. Now, from my experience, I have seen that Legion, Ion, Scorch, North Star, and Monarch tend to be the most effective Titans to be used on Blackwater Canal. They can hold down lanes and do a lot of DPS at the same time. As for what kits are most valuable to use with those Titans depends on your playstyle and what you feel more comfortable with. If you want to do more DPS, pick a kit that helps with that. If you want lanes to stay under control, pick a kit for that purpose. It all comes down to preference. I hope that this guide was of help to you and you could gain something out of it. If you did find this helpful, let me know with a like on this video. And with all that, thank you so much for tuning in, and I hope to see you on my next video.